All right, good morning, boys and girls. It is Monday morning on February 23rd. We got about 15 minutes to market open. I already did some assessment on marking out highs and lows of previous sessions yesterday, Asia, and London. We are currently in what looks like, at least on the 1 hour time frame, as I move into the 1 hour time frame, a pretty sideways kind of movement here. Whoops, 1 hour, not 1 minute. There we go. And as I put this in a little better perspective here, you can see here that while we've had some up and down and moving, some long hikes, we had some sideways movement here. Big move, and we're sort of in some sideways movement as we move along here as well. Slightly moving in an uptrend, but it's been a pretty slow going uptrend. So for right now, there's not a whole lot that gives me any obvious confidence about what direction the market's going to go. I had to move down to lower time frames to get a better idea. As you can see here, it looks very, very sideways. Nothing really giving us any idea that we are consistently going to be moving in any particular direction. So I'm just going down to different uh, confluences, different ways that I'm establishing a bias. And right now in the 15 minute, what I am noticing is when Asian session opened, or I should say New York closes Asian session open, there wasn't really much of a sweep of any liquidity per se. I'm in the 15-minute time frame now, but the 5 minutes pretty much going to show the same kind of thing. We didn't have a whole lot of a manipulation, and then a steady move downward, um, and doesn't really um, hit any significant draws on liquidity. We targeted maybe some lows down here. Looks like it began to hold and then started a slight uptrend again. We got a little consolidation, then some continuation. Never quite made the highs for Asian session, whereas here on Nasdaq we did. So we have a little bit of an SMT divergence there. The interesting observation here is as I move to the 15 minute, we have a fair value gap here that interestingly was respected in both markets. So right now, that SMT that we're seeing here, where we were able to get past Asia highs on the Nasdaq, didn't make them on the S&P, gives me that's probably my only indicator at this point that S&P is weaker, and in both cases, even though we're in a slight uptrend here, this is more consolidation. I'm kind of getting the idea that we might be looking at sweeping some highs here on a manipulation and then heading down. Or we're just not going to be able to make those highs at all because right now we tend to be stalling a little bit in there. Let me move to the 5 minute on these real quick and give you a better indication what we got going on here. You can see here we've got a slight uptrend going on. Um, so again, manipulation may be above London highs. Who knows if that'll take out Asian highs. We do have some target areas if we go up into here. It's just that there's so much sideways movement and not a lot of volatility, not a lot of activity that I'm pretty much just going to watch price action and just see what it gives us. Today is definitely going to be a patience day. So a real test of trading psychology today, because that's something that I typically have been a little less than stellar with. So we will see what it gives us. And if there's an opening range breakout of some kind, or even something that establishes the opening range quickly, then we'll be able to see if there's something we can monopolize on that, maybe take a quick scalp. But in the meantime, that is our target for today. So right now, my bias is bearish with a bullish market manipulation in the early opening minutes. So I would anticipate that even though we have a bit of an uptrend, yeah, it's just so damn sideways. There might be some entries for something. I'll just have to wait on some confluences because right now we're in such middle ground right now. Everything is so sideways. I mean, on the S&P, we're literally inside of market highs and lows on Asia and inside market highs and lows on New York. So it's almost like they're all coming in from low to high. I mean, if you're a trend line follower type of person, this is a pretty oops, pretty straightforward looking consolidation. Whatever does break might break more. If anything, maybe I'm thinking a break to the upside, and that's just based on my theory that if we go to the 1 hour here real quick, I'll show you what I mean. I'll show you here too on both of these. So looking at the 1 hour, what we have is we have these fair value gap. We have this really big fair value gap right here. So we have a fair value gap right here that's been respected through all of London session, created an Asia session. So we could very well look at taking care of that fair value gap. There could be a draw there. We also have a fair value gap right here where we had a significant drop. And in both cases, this has been respected. As well as on the 1 hour, we have equilibrium. So let's take a look here. We pretty much have an equilibrium play right here. So we got up into equilibrium. We're coming back down. We're playing back up into it. So, oh, I'm sorry. I did this wrong. Let me do this. This is the equilibrium play here. This is why I'm saying it's going to go. Oops. Hang on. Well, here, I'll just get rid of both of them when I'm ready. There we go. Most recent low to most recent high. There. So you can see where it came up. Hang on, I'm going to get rid of this, make this easier to see for you guys. There we go. Okay. Market came up, avoided this, respected this fair value gap, but then in this move here from low to high, it hit equilibrium and now it's moving back up. So this is what's telling me that we're probably looking at in our open of perhaps testing this fair value gap again and taking out London highs, possibly Asia highs, and it could go up into here as a high time frame area of liquidity. NASDAQ is going to be a little tougher because there's a little more room it has to go to do that. But if it does inverse this fair value gap, then these highs are also right here as well. So on the 1 hour, we're looking like equilibrium is more realistic to break through. We've already disrespected this fair value gap. Now we have this one here that we're going to be working with. Chances are that's where there's going to be some market manipulation. And I think that is going to be the magnetic pole. That's kind of the theory I've been working with lately, is that areas of liquidity and fair value gaps where you have imbalances in in order flow, that those tend to be magnetic. That price will pull to those areas to create balance and or to sweep liquidity. Pretty much the idea of just not leaving any money on the table. That's pretty much what it is. So we'll see how the strength of that works. But that's as I look at this more and more, that's really where I'm thinking we're going to be working with stuff. So we've got about 5 minutes to market open. Maybe just under 5 minutes, about 3.5. So that's what I'm thinking is we're probably looking at pushing up through here. I'm going to move back to the 5 minute, and we will see how market order, where price action takes us. So let's sit tight and trade with some patience. Okay, we're already seeing in some pre-market time that that's pretty much where we're likely to go. I may very well take a... Actually, I'll wait, because usually what happens at market open is there's a little bit of a pullback before it pulls up. I see some volatility right at open. Again, my bias is that we're going to be pushing up towards those highs first and then making a downward sweep. Might come up and take some liquidity here, have a quick retrace, and then continue higher too. That's a distinct possibility. So we're about 2 minutes to market open, and we're already starting to see that we're making a push towards those London highs. So pre-market is already showing some of its hand right now. But like I said, the market makers love to mess with us retail folk, and the manipulations are usually quick sweeps in the opposite direction to be able to pick up some liquidity quickly. Okay. Yeah, today's stuff is just going to be some quick scalps. Let's take a quick look at the 1 minute, what that's doing. Okay. I'm going to stick with the 5 minute for now. A few seconds to market open. Twenty seconds. Okay, a little bit of a drop. I'm going to go ahead and take a long here. Okay, I'm out there. That should have been a quick 75 or 80 bucks. Let's take a look here. All right, not bad. All right, we did push up above London highs. Probably would have been good to hold that for a little longer, but all right, looks like we're making a push to Asian highs. So let's keep an eye on that now. This is all in the first minute. We should have a bit of a pullback here. All right, so we got a manipulation on London for sure. Asian highs were already taken out on Nasdaq, so it's kind of an SMT on that one. Um, that's what kind of gives me the indication we could head lower on some of this. Uh, so Nasdaq definitely more volatile than S&P right now. S&P still wants to hang out and work with those other highs. Okay, it looks like we're going to get another push here. I'm going to go long. I think we're going to get another push to the highs. So, all right, I'm out again. That was another 50 bucks. I probably should have stuck in because that's moving now. Yeah, we're definitely looking at pushing those out. I'm going to move to the 1 minute. Okay. Definitely taking out those Asia highs. All right, so now we have pretty much what our manipulation is. We could keep surging up, but I think at this point I might wait, see if we get a reversal. I'm only up a couple $100 maybe. Definitely more volatility on the Nasdaq. S&P really seems to want to get to those highs. Nasdaq's got a further way to go to do it, so probably a little more resistance there. And of course, we got these fair value gaps that it's playing with as well. So it's touching on those fair value gaps. This one had, yeah, see, whereas S&P doesn't have a fair value gap holding up resistance right now. S&P just wants to go right up there and take out those highs. So Nasdaq is really being the anchor on this one. Let's see if we break that fair value gap right there. Pullback will be good right now too. Still in an uptrend, so that's good. But we haven't seen any kind of reversal. We haven't seen any significant. Um, I think I might take another buy here because I'm really thinking we're going to get up to those highs for S&P. I think what I'm going to do, I'll just wait on if we break that inverse that fair value gap. If we inverse that fair value gap, then I'll move down to the 1 minute, wait for a reversal, and then perhaps even take it on the Nasdaq since that's probably more likely where I'll be able to get some draws on liquidity. that are a little more significant. Okay. So now we're starting to see. All right, so there's a good pullback right there. Okay, I'm going to move to the 1 minute here and just see. Yeah, there we go. Haven't quite got equilibrium there. And we've also got a fair value gap on the 1 minute that we're working with too. So see what's happening over on NASDAQ. Okay. All right. So it looks like what we've got here. A little bit of a pullback. Okay, here we go. Oh, see, there was my shot right there. So I'm going to go back to the 5 minute. I think the real play here is going to be this fair value gap on the 5 minute. I think that's it right there. Yeah, that topping tail on the 1 minute tells me we're going to be waiting a minute. Yeah, there's a draw. There's an area of liquidity right up here that I think they're trying to get to. They're still pulling it here, so but right now where it's at, I'm going to wait for that because I think what we're going to have is a manipulation here and then a heavy downturn. So just got to wait for that to work itself out. Okay, we've established a low here. So we've got a low here. Fair value gap. We do have a fair value gap here as well. So let's see if this fair value gap gets inversed. Okay, definitely testing it. Okay. That one dropped pretty severely. I'm going to take a short here. Okay, that was a quick scalp. We're going to get a retrace. Scale down to the 1 minute real quick. We did get a break of structure to the downside, so I think from here, oh, wait here, but okay, I'm going to take another short, and I'm going to actually target this fair value gap right here. Yeah, NASDAQ is clearly pulling this down, so I'm going to pull out of that again. Let's see what we're looking at here. Yeah. All right, NASDAQ is selling off hard. That really would have been the better move, but I didn't catch that. Okay. Almost made it to market lows there. This just tells me that we're going to have probably a retrace coming back up. I think we'll have a strong buy here in a minute. Okay, I'm going to wait for this to dip a little bit more, and then I'm going to take a long. Okay, I'm going to take a long right here. This could sweep out those lows. Yeah, it's going to. It's going to sweep them out. That's all right. I'm not worried about that. I'm actually going to take another one because I think we need to make up for that imbalance. So I think I'm going to make that up here. There we go. Ah, shit. Tried to take it as a scalp. I got a little bit out of it. I'm going to do this again because I think we can get back in here. I'm going to take two. I think we're going to pull this back up. There we go. We'll let this one ride out a little bit. There we go. Man, I keep getting out in the toughest spots, man. Jeez. I'm just going to have to get back in. Let's try this again. I'm going to take two contracts now. All right, it's definitely an imbalance there, so wow, this is really cruising. All right, so there's the sweep. We do have Asia lows that we could be looking at as well. If the manipulation is here and then going there, then that's where that's at. I'm going to go one more contract here. I know I'm kind of heading the wrong way, but there's just got to be some comeback on this one. You know, maybe the move is down. Maybe I blew this. Well, let's see. I guess we're only going to see. Nope. Whoa. Yeah. Let's see if we can make something up here. I just see that imbalance and it's just got to be made up. Break of structure, I'm gonna buy again. All right, I'm gonna go long again. I'm going long again because I think this is a. Oh, that's a doji. Shit, that's gonna drop. Oh, maybe not. Maybe I get lucky here. All right, I'm gonna sit tight because I think now we got the manipulations where we need them. I think the market is we're in a downtrend on the 1 minute, but let me take a quick look at the 5 minute. Yeah, we've had such a drop here that it's time to make this up. We got to make some up here. So I'm gonna let this come back up. There we go. Okay, there's another few $100. Okay. Okay, we have 1 minute SMT forming here. So now I'm just going to wait for a break of structure and then go long. There we go. I'm starting to get it now. Might go 2 contracts on this. Want to buy. And might get another one down here. Yeah. Yeah, let's get one down here. Okay. There we go. That's more like it. Whoa. Okay, we're kind of back to where we were. All right, so now we're going to test this fair value gap. This would be a good entry to get back in. I think I'm going to go ahead and get back in. Take advantage of a few more dollars here. Whoa. It's respecting that gap, so we've got equilibrium. I'm going to double down and just let this, there we go. Good. Got out in time. All right, we're good. Now we're good. All right, so I've played around with this enough. You know, I think the goal would be about averaging 600 a day, 500, or I mean, Friday was one day when the account was started, and then had another one to make up today. So really, I'm pretty much there. I mean, to look at where my totals are, I'm at 1247. Let's just look at my total P&L on the day. $815. So you know what? I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth. I am going to say that is good. And I'm going to call it for right now, because the name of this game is to be patient, take the wins where you can, and get through another trading day. I've still got 3 days left of qualification trading on this prop account. So I'm going to keep it right here, since I've met the average cash goal. I'm not going to try to push my luck. This market is pretty sideways with what it's doing right now. It did move in the direction I am. I've still got to work on my psychology and not get impatient about letting things play out. But at the same time, when you're dealing with the prop account and you have such narrow drawdowns, and things can move as quickly as they do, it really becomes challenging sometimes to be able to pull the money to just get these trades managed properly. You almost have to really act on them in a more scalping type of fashion, especially on a sideways and choppy market the way this has been for the last few days. So we'll see this smooth itself out, hopefully, as the week continues. I do have a number of shows in a row. I don't know that I'd want to call it a tour per se, because it's all, within a 3-hour radius of my home base. But nonetheless, it is 4 shows in a row, and those can be quite grueling, especially because we're the type of band that, although we're a high-level corporate tribute band, we're still doing all of our own gear, tech, setup, and tear down, as well as the show and all that. So they are long, grueling days when it comes to that aspect of it. In any event, that I've got some preparations I need to do, because that whole deal starts tomorrow, and then from there, I'm going to do my best to make sure I'm rested enough and able to trade with you all each morning, and get this next prop account qualified, and let's see if we can take our first payout at some point. That's really the goal at this point, is to get our first payout on this on our first qualified prop account. So all right, thanks for sticking with me. Keep an eye on that price action, and trade smart, boys and girls. Stay patient and use good judgment. Make sure to always keep your psychology in check, because to tell you the truth, that's exactly what it is. Trading is like golf. It's a mental game. You can try all the skills in the world that you want, but at the end of the day, it comes down to lots and lots of reps, and having a good head in the game, and just managing your position wisely. So, all right, we'll take care. Just a quick note here: we do have an SMT divergence forming, so this looks like it could get bullish again. So keep your eyes on it. I'll be probably checking in on my phone just to see what the market does. Have some fun with it there. All right, that's it for now. We will talk to you all tomorrow.